So give us some advice on the growth side, right? Because I love that you did this part-time for a really long time. Some people are stuck in day jobs right now and they're just like, oh my gosh, this has taken me a year. I want to quit really, really soon. But for
Yeah.
what you did is you really took a long time to actually see if this was a viable business before you actually quit. When did you stop doing the CPA work and realize like, okay, I have to go gung-ho and grow this thing?
Yeah, I stopped in May of '07. So I only lasted
Mm.
10 months at this accounting firm I was at. It was really bad hours and, 80 hours a week. And I could only
Wow.
work on YNAB between like 4 and 5:30 a.m. Normally. So they didn't leave a ton of time for actual growth. It was really just maintenance. Um, I was doing support and things like that and just kind of keeping things going. I wish I would have started sooner on doing YNAB full time. I feel like I shouldn't say waste because there were good experiences I had that taught me a lot, but I do wish I had that year back to really focus on growing it more. Um, I'm extremely risk averse and felt like I really had to have everything laid out perfectly. And I think it's not as risky as we like to tell ourselves. So if you have to go back and get another job, it's not the end of the world. I wouldn't go into debt to try and start a new business or to try and live on credit cards while I was working on a business. I don't think you're ready to jump ship if you have to do that. But if you have something to fall back on, some savings that you would burn through for 6 months, worst case, you go back and get a job again. So um, if I could go back and coach myself again, I would say, hey, go quicker. Don't start with put some good content there.
I
So
love that. So let's focus our attention now to money because that's what you talk about all the time. So tell us
yeah.
about the four rules, and I really want to dive into, especially business owners, how we can
Mhm.
really pay attention to, because budget is usually like a four-letter word for people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about those rules first.
Yeah. Well, first to tackle the idea that a budget's a bad thing.
Hmm.
Um, when if I could just get everyone who's listening to this, who's watching it, to kind of retrace if they're a little stressed with their money, retrace where those feelings come from and why they're stressed. So when a bill comes and you have to check your account balance to see if you can pay it or not, and then another bill comes and you got to check again, like that's a stressful cycle. And I want to then have them imagine that a bill comes and they just pay it and they don't have to think about if there's money there. That's not a stressful cycle. So if they start to think about a budget as a forward-looking plan instead of a diet or restriction, it's just a planning tool. It's just goal setting with money. Then we can start to get somewhere. So that being said, the four rules are: one, that you prioritize what you want your money to do. We say give every dollar a job. That's just forward looking. You start with money that you have in your account. You don't forecast. You don't look at your receivables. You just say, here's my cash on hand. What should it do? The second rule is to look ahead for larger, less frequent expenses